Well, the time is just gone 8:42 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning. And last week we covered briefly events that have been taking place in Nablus, and we are going to take a look at some of the most recent developments with independent journalist who is based in Palestine. We are talking with Ahmad Al-Bazz. Ahmad, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Walaikum assalam. Thanks for hosting me.
Yes, wonderful you're able to join us now. Last week we covered the developments in Nablus, and at this point in time, the situation is quite dire. It is quite a serious situation. We know what has happened with regard to even schools, and there is just so much taking place. What is the latest situation out of Nablus?
Mhm. So maybe the most recent development is what happened 48 hours ago. There was a big Israeli military raid into the old town of Nablus, which is the main base of the armed political activists that created recently a group that called Lions Den. So the Israeli military managed to attack their infrastructure. According to a press statement that they released, they said that they attacked a workshop in which these activists were manufacturing some bombs prepared for attacks at Israeli targets. In that operation, they also managed to kill one senior leader of that group, in addition to some other civilians who were killed by the undercover forces just because of revealing them by chance while walking around the old town, according to eyewitnesses. The funerals happened the following day, and it was massive funerals, and there was a general strike at least across the Palestinian towns in the West Bank. And now the Palestinian street is expecting more operation to happen, especially that the Israeli elections are coming soon. And for Israeli politicians, Israeli leaders, this is an important time for completing their operations.
Yes, and while this killing all of Palestinians continues in Nablus, we've seen even right across Palestine and also in Gaza as well, where we've seen thousands have obviously taken to the streets protesting against what this brutal Zionist entity or the Zionist forces are actually doing to the people in Nablus.
Yes. Yes, I have seen that, and people here have seen these movements across the Palestinian population that are separated from each other. When we talk about the Palestinian people today, we talk about some who are separated in some enclaves in the area known as the West Bank, and some who are sieged in the Gaza Strip. In addition to the diaspora Palestinians, we're talking about the majority outside of Palestine, and for them, this is an a unique period that we're living. We know that the West Bank has lost its military power maybe by the end of 2007, the end of the Second Intifada. And now, since a year, we are witnessing some independent fighters trying to create groups, although they have um, very simple weapons, and the only thing they have is their will to fight, and they managed to attract the Palestinian public opinion. Like, I can tell you, for example, that during my reporting, I witnessed something unique last week. One statement from that group, the Lions Den, on Telegram, within half an hour, we have seen all Palestinian people, yani not all to be accurate, but high numbers going to streets in at midnight. It was 12:30, just because of a group of activists asked them to do so. And I believe the main reason is that Palestinians are seeing that the space is empty and they need someone to represent their struggle. We've seen the Palestinians passing through a weak decade, without any political activity. The Israelis are winning, and people are thirsty to see something happening on the ground, and that's why they have been satisfied to see such a move.
Yes, and also when one looks at Israel and giving this excuse that they are carrying out major raids against what they call Palestinian militia, and you mentioned the Lions Den as well, and this is the story that is actually being sold to the world, and this is the story that the West has actually taken up and reporting on where now suddenly there is this blame game played against the Lions Den.
Exactly. And here we get to the most complicated question. It's sometimes simple, sometimes complicated. Like, why is this happening? For Israel, this is a wave of terrorism that they want to silence, they want to eliminate. For Palestinians, this is just a new wave of fighting a settler colonial case in their country. They have been living as refugees, as excluded people. Like those who are fighting, the world should know that they are uncitizens of anywhere, not citizens of anywhere. They are ruled under the Israeli military law. They don't have the freedom to move. They don't have the ability to use an airport of their country, including myself. So I think this is the what these groups are trying to fight. You know, trying to fight oppression, trying to find separation, trying to find a colonial case according to their perspective. But the Israeli side has never been able to see such claims. For them, they deal with Palestinian in a security way, military way. And you know what is interesting is that whenever they ask this question, like, what is next? And they have managed to achieve it in the past. We have lived a decade, a quiet decade in the West Bank when it comes to military aspect. So, what was the end? Did we achieve an end of colonialism, an end of occupation, or at least a Palestinian state on parts of Palestine? Nothing was done, and the status quo is what Israel wants to maintain forever. So this temporary situation, they want just to keep it going forever, and it has been going for a long time. We're talking about over 100 years now. So this is the critical question that everyone following Palestine and Israel should think about, because if you want to get yourself away from that question, then it's easy binary, you know, terrorism and the state fighting terrorism. But it's way more complicated than that.
Yes, and also at the same time giving them the perfect excuse to keep cities like Nablus under siege, and basically severely restricting movements of people, and also using it as a form of collective punishment against all the people of Nablus.
That's also another point. And I have been reporting in the field for about 10 years now. And you can also ask international journalists. I have never witnessed a collective punishment imposed on Israeli settlers, those who are called Israeli citizens. And you know why? It's simple. They are not subjected to the Israeli military law. Israel has no access, legal access to apply that on them. We are the ones who are not citizens. We are the one who hold IDs issued partly by the Israeli Ministry of Defense. So yes, it's as simple as this. Whenever there is a move on the Palestinian front, Israel has no problem to close a town or city. They just put earth mounds, a bulldozer come and close the main street that leads to a city, or they close the yellow gates that surround the enclaves. They erect checkpoints, yeah, and settlers keep driving. And let's check out the opposite case. What if a settler attack a Palestinian? What is going to happen? You can check out news, and if you manage to bring me an example of one settlement that was closed in similar way, then you can defeat my argument. But yani, no one, even the Israeli side, no one even argue with this because it's not happening. And yeah, collective punishment is what is happening right now, at least in the case of Nablus, which is even illegal according to international law if we want to check out these international regulations, because you cannot put 160,000 residents under siege just because of an act was done by a group of dozen activists.
Well, Ahmad, we're going to have to leave it at that. As always, we do appreciate you taking time out, talking to us. We wish you all the best, inshallah. And we thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Thanks for hosting me.
Ahmad Al-Bazz, independent journalist based in Palestine, with us this morning. An update out of Nablus. The time is just gone, 8:52. We've got the chairperson of Etequini Secure, Imtiaz Sayed, up next.